Welcome back to another episode on Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm an anxiety coach who helps people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally. So on today's episode, I am going to be talking about something that whenever we experience anxiety, if you guys have realized, is that whenever you're experiencing anxiety, where are you exactly? And I don't mean physically where you are, like a certain place, like let's say the mall or supermarket, or in your car or outside. I mean, think about where you are exactly. You are not really in reality. You're not what's going on around you. You are in your mind, meaning that you are thinking about things. You are in your head unless outside in reality. And that's a big thing because whenever we're inside our head, it can cause a lot of issues. Like, for example, memory loss. The reason why we have memory loss, it's not because you have a medical issue or there's something wrong with your brain. It's because you are in your head and you're forgetting, you're not realizing what's happening around you. So let's say, for example, if you are putting something somewhere or talking to somebody about something, you are not going to remember the conversation that you had, or you don't remember where you put that thing, is because you're not here. You're not out here in reality. You're more stuck in your head. And that's the reason why you have memory loss. You're not remembering. It's not really memory loss. It's affecting your memory because you're so much in your head. You're not out in reality. Same thing with the anxiety right now. Whenever you're feeling anxious, what's happening is that you are stuck in your head. Like, oh my God, I can't breathe. Like, oh my God, I have a lump in my throat. Oh my God, I'm dizzy. Oh my God, I'm about to pass out. It feels like I'm about to pass out. So what's happening is that you are stuck in your mind. You're not out in reality, because if you look at reality, nothing is happening really. You can be sitting at home or being in the mall and everything is perfectly fine. Everything is perfectly safe, but in your mind, you have all these thoughts that's popping up. All of these thoughts telling you like, oh my God, what if you pass out right now? We're going to have a panic attack. I feel really anxious. I feel really stressed out. What's going to happen? Bad things are going to happen. So you're just stuck in your head. And what we need to do is get out of our head. That's one of the tricks that you can do in order to get out of anxiety quickly. And this is why there's certain techniques like the grounding technique or the focus exercise or the breathing exercise that helps you to calm down by getting yourself out of your head, by putting yourself in reality. It's going to bring you back to what's happening right now in this moment. And that's the most important thing, is being in the moment. Because think about it this way, whenever we're stuck in our head, whenever we're thinking about anything, let's say, for example, we have a future event coming up and we need to go somewhere, and going to that place freaks us out. It triggers our anxiety. So we automatically think bad things are going to happen. So what's happening is that we're already experiencing the anxiety before it's even happening. Before the situation that we're in that causes our anxiety, we are already on alert beforehand because we know I need to go to that place. Because we know that, hey, I'm about to have anxiety. So we are already predicting, number one, what's going to happen. And number two, we're just in our head. And that's not helping us whatsoever in dealing with our anxiety. So we need to fight in the right way, of course, to put ourselves more of what's happening around us. So whenever we're feeling anxious, we can just say to ourselves, okay, I'm thinking too much. I'm too much in our head. I need to be more in reality. Now, I remember this whenever I first did the grounding technique. I remember I was with a social worker that went through anxiety, and he was able to help me out of the multiple therapists that I went to. He was the only one that was able to help me out because he went through anxiety. So he understood how it works. I remember when we went outside of his office, and I remember sitting outside, and he was like, let's do this grounding technique. I was like, okay. And he was like, he's like, first things first, he's like, I want you to show me 5 things that you see right now. And I named 5 things that I saw. He's like, okay, great. He's like, name me 4 things that you're physically right now touching. I named it 4 things, and 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, 1 thing that you can taste. And I was like, whoa. I was like, this is the first time that I felt like I'm back to my old self. It was the weirdest feeling ever, and it was like an amazing feeling. I was just shocked. I was like, it's that simple just to do this technique and bring you back? He's like, yeah, because you're stuck in your head. I need to bring you to here, what's happening right now, what's happening around you, so you can stop thinking about what's happening in your head. And I was like, that is so, I'm like, that's amazing. I was like, I remember, I took the day, I remember that feeling. I wanted to hug him because of like how I felt in that moment. Because of like that, all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, I'm like, I feel like my old self. And I do this, and I remember doing this throughout the entire time when I had anxiety. And every time it would bring me back, and I felt like my old self again. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I even do this until today. Sometimes when I'm really stressed out and I have so many things going on, I'm thinking about, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. And like so many things are running through my mind. I'm like, okay, wait, Manuel. I'm like, take a step back. I'm like, let's do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique over here. Even when I'm stressed out, nothing got to do with anxiety. It helps me to come back to the moment where I am right now, to be able to collect my thoughts. It's such an amazing technique. Because like, let's say, for example, when you have racing thoughts, your thoughts are racing and you're going down a rabbit hole. The way to stop that is to try to do the grounding technique, is try to implement that. There's another technique that I learned is that try, whenever you're having racing thoughts, is like take the thought that you're having, whatever it is, and say it slowly. Like slow it down. And that thing also was powerful whenever I heard that. And whenever I tried that, it was such a powerful technique to be able to do that. I was like, when I would have racing thoughts, I would just think, and I would go down this rabbit hole. I'm like, wait. I'm like, first things first. I'm like, let me try to do this slowly. And I would think about the thought in a very slow way, and I would say it slowly. So that way, I'm able to concentrate on what I'm saying. You see, your focus automatically is going to go to your mouth and how to say it slow because you're not used to saying it that way. And I know some people count backwards as well because they're not used to counting backwards. And I'm not saying 10, 9, 8, 7. No. I'm saying like, let's say 57, 56, 55. That's going to make you think about the numbers that we need to go down so that way your mind right away focuses on something else instead of your anxiety. So we want to get the focus off our anxiety. We want to get out of our minds, out of our head, and more in the reality that we're in, right? We're at right now. So let's say someplace is triggering your anxiety. What you're thinking about whenever you're in the situation is like, oh my God, I'm about to have a panic attack. Like, oh my God, I am having a panic attack. I'm freaking out. I got to get out of here. So what you could do, because you're in your head right now, you're in your mind and you're thinking about it. That's what you're doing. Try to get yourself out of it and think about what's happening around you. Look at 5 things that's around you. You can even be at 6, 7, whatever it is. Or take one specific item, whatever it is, and start focusing on it. Because the point is to get your focus off the anxiety. Like, ask yourself, and I remember doing this. I remember whenever I would have a conversation with somebody, after the conversation, I'm like, whoa, I didn't think about my anxiety. Has that ever happened to you guys? Whenever you're speaking to somebody, all of a sudden the conversation ends, and I was like, whoa, like, I didn't even think about my anxiety. I didn't feel anxious. But do you see how that focus is such a big thing? Now, a lot of people are going to say like, oh yeah, you always got to keep yourself busy, try to get your focus off it. Yes and no. At the same time, yes, it's good to get yourself busy and get your focus off it, but at the same time, you want not to be afraid of the anxiety. To show that the anxiety is not a dangerous thing. To show that it's okay to have anxiety. And it's normal to have anxiety. Because again, the trick over there is to manipulate and to kind of trick your amygdala to show like, hey, nothing dangerous happening. Nothing bad is happening over here. Because whenever you're trying to not feel anxiety and trying to run away, you're showing to the amygdala there's something dangerous over here. There's something that we need to run away from, activate the fight and fight mode. But whenever you're fine with it, that shows like, okay, there's nothing to be dangerous. There's nothing to be scared about. And by the way, anxiety is not a dangerous thing or anything like that. So you have nothing to worry about. It's normal to experience anxiety, and we have to experience anxiety whenever we are in a dangerous situation in order to protect us. Now, the only problem over here is that we're not in a dangerous situation. We are believing and thinking, well, our amygdala is making us believe that we are, and what we need to do is reprogram that and maybe try different coping mechanisms and different things that can help us. And one of the most powerful ways is getting your mind, getting yourself out of your head and into reality to be able to instantly calm you down, to be able to control your anxiety and get you to one step further in your journey in overcoming your anxiety. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people. And the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys. Take care. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.